Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Fat Man Little Trail, the podcast where everyone is invited on this trail. I'm, of course, your host this week and every week, Greg, the Fat Man, founder of FatManLittleTrail.com. I want to thank everybody who's been supporting the podcast over the last year or so that I've been doing it. It's been great having that kind of support, and I really appreciate it. If you like the podcast, make sure you share it. And like it on the different platforms. We're on a bunch of different platforms out there, so give it a like, give it a share, let people know about it. And if you want to help out with a little financial donation, you can do that. There's a link in my bio for that, and maybe I can get myself some theme music one of these days. I want to get right into some stuff today. I'm solo today, no interviews today. It's just me, so it'll be a little bit of a shorter one. But I want to tell you about a project I've been working on that's kind of kept me very occupied, but it's something I'm really kind of passionate about. I have done the 52 Hike Challenge. Those of you watching on YouTube, you can see I have 2 completion medals behind me there. I've done the 52 Hike Challenge twice. I've done the 52 Experiences Challenge, and I'm a 52 Experience Ambassador. And I think they're amazing programs. I think those are programs that help motivate people when they're already in a stage where they are doing it and they just need a little push to get over the top and get to that next level. But what I started to think about was the fact that going back to my beginnings, like before I was a hiker and before I spent a lot of time in the outdoors, if you told me 52, I'd be a little bit hesitant to do something like that. And I wanted a hiking challenge. I mean, everything that I do is about getting unlikely hikers and people that you wouldn't think of more active and out into nature to find the benefits and the mental health and physical health benefits of being out in nature. So I had this idea and I came up with it. It's called 13hikes.com. And what it is it's a 13 hike challenge. My thought process behind this was, if you can do a hike a week, that's amazing. That gives you 52 hikes in the year. And it means that you're really on your way to getting in that great physical and mental shape. And again, like I said, the 52 Hike Challenge is a great resource for that and a great community for that. But what about those people who that's a big bite of the apple? I've talked on the podcast before about little victories and how little victories in life can help build up your confidence. So if you have, when you're younger, you get like a report card, you have sporting events each week, you have different things that are kind of those little victories that you can take into, each week. And victories are gauged on a shorter term basis. Maybe you got a spelling test or a weekly test or a game every Saturday or a recital or something like that. So you have stuff that can help build that confidence, even if, you just figured out how to do something new in practice for the sport you're doing. And it's a little victory. It's something that makes you feel good about yourself or better about yourself and helps build confidence. But as you get older, once you graduate college, your victories are like, yeah, I got a job, and now that's a big victory. And now once a year I get a review from my boss, but I haven't seen my boss in 6 months. I don't really know how they're reviewing me, but they did. Is that really a victory? Maybe you finish a project and you go out for drinks afterwards, and that's a victory. But there's nothing that is like that chance to prove yourself over and over again, like we have when we're younger, between school, athletics, programs, putting on a musical every week or something like that, where you have that chance to get those little victories every week. And I think that's what's effective about these hiking challenges and these lifestyle challenges like the 52 Hike Challenge and the 52 Experience Challenge, where it tells you like every week you're going to do it. But what if you're not even ready to get to that level? What if you're not even ready to start because it seems so far away? 52 seems so far away. That's why I came up with the 13 Hike Challenge. And it was more it's for a lot of people. It's for everyone, basically. I want everyone to enjoy the outdoors. But the 13 Hike Challenge is for, first and foremost, the people that say, I can't do this. I can't do 52 hikes. Well, why don't you try smaller? Why don't you do 13? 13 is one season. If you only want to hike in the summer, 13 weeks in the summer, 13 hikes. If you only want to, let's say you have, kids and they've got t-ball games and they've got Little League and they've got soccer and they've got ballet recitals and stuff like that, and your weekends are full, but you can still squeeze in 13 hikes. It's not every week. It's basically once a month. 1 month you'll have to do 2. But it's a hike every 4 weeks. There's 52 hikes in a year. I'm not a math guy. I'm more of a writing guy. But it's one every 4 weeks. So trying to squeeze in a hike like that, I feel is a more manageable goal for somebody who is concerned about that number 52 or that dedication every week. And the goal is that once you realize how much hiking is benefiting you, that you'll take those 13 hikes and you'll turn them into 52 hikes. You'll turn them into hiking every weekend because you'll start to fall in love with it. You'll realize that you can do it, and you'll start doing a little bit longer hikes each week, and you'll be able to accomplish a little bit more, and you'll start to love the feeling. This is what happened with me. You'll start to love the feeling, and you'll want to do it all the time. And that's the goal, is to try to get those people that are hesitant of doing one of these challenges because they're worried that it's just so much, and they want to be able to finish it. They're still competitive, but they're just either worried it's too much. Maybe they're coming off an injury. Maybe they're just, they don't have time, but they can squeeze in 13 over the course of a year. So that's the goal. The website is 13hikes.com, the number 13hikes.com. And with this challenge, when you sign up, you get included in what I'm calling Trail Buddies Social. And that is a Facebook style, I don't know if I can say that out loud, a social media style of communication where there's a board and you can post pictures, you can post links to your all trails or your Strava and things like that. So you can kind of help encourage other people that are around you. And there's different tiers that you can sign up for that give you different access to the Trail Buddies social portion of it. But the goal is to have an outdoors-only social media platform where people who are starting can talk to people who have been in the outdoors their whole life, or the people that are just looking for a little push or maybe some ideas of what trail that they should hike can go there and find that resource without having to sift through all of the other things that social media throws at you on a daily basis. Hopefully it's something that's going to take off and encourage people and inspire people to get outdoors and to just really kind of find a love for it like I have. And hopefully they can turn their lives around in the way that I have been able to. And, it just started out. We're about a month into it now, doing a soft launch, and it's been a really good experience. I've had a couple people really embrace it, and we're working to add some more and kind of work through it, and hopefully it's just going to help inspire people to get outside. So it's something I've become passionate about. I've been passionate about it for a couple years now, trying to get people outside. That's why I do the website. That's why I do the podcast, is just trying to bring people outdoors in a way that is effective and safe and gives them the best possibility to succeed. And hopefully that's what 13 Hikes can do. I'm hoping that once you're done with my 13 hikes, you can move on to a 52 hike challenge. You can stay there. I have several different hikes on there. For each task that you accomplish, you can actually earn badges on the social media, so you can kind of have bragging rights amongst your friends on there. So there's the 13 hike challenge, then I have a 13 peaks challenge, a 13 blooms challenge, a 13 lakes challenge, 13 woods challenge, I think. So all these challenges to get you out. And once you finish your first 13, 13 blooms is to go do 13 hikes where you run into flowers. 13 waterfalls is you run into waterfalls on your hikes 13 times. So it's something that's can go on for years. It can go on. If you just need those 13 hikes, you can do it for those 13 hikes. If you need to stay motivated and just keep on it, and hopefully you'll meet a group of people and some friends that will help keep you motivated, and you can keep going. So check it out, 13 Hikes. There's a free version of it as well. So those of you who are looking for that, there's a free version, and hopefully it'll just keep you motivated. So 13hikes.com is the website. Go ahead and check it out and sign up, and I hope to see you all outside based on that. So that has been my passion project for the last few months. I've been a little bit lacking on the podcast, and I hope to be back. I've got another couple good ones lined up here, but for the last few weeks, 6 weeks, 2 months, I've been really kind of working hard on trying to get this launched. So Hopefully, it's something that you guys can use and enjoy. Moving on now, I do want to talk about the hike of the week. And this one is kind of on that same measure of people who want to do stuff, but they aren't like confident yet, or they're not sure, or, they're not ready yet, but they still want to enjoy the things that other people are enjoying. And for me, there's that's kind of Rocky Mountain National Park is one of those things. And Rocky Mountain National Park is absolutely beautiful, and I encourage everybody to go up there if you have a chance. Reservations start again for the summer season on May 27th this year, and it runs through, I think, October 1st. So you do need a reservation to go up there end of May. But Rocky Mountain has so many different things to offer. But unlike some national parks, Rocky Mountain has some really, really challenging hikes to it. Some kind of like high level scrambling hikes and hikes that you want to have some skill level behind you to do. And I see people up there who end up getting themselves in a little bit of trouble because they think that they're hiking at elevation for the first time. Let's say you come from Florida and you're coming out to Colorado. That's a big difference between sea level and coming up and hiking at 8,500, 9,000 feet. So there's some challenging hikes, but there's also some hikes that more and more people can do. And I wanted to let people know on my hike of the week this week about some of those hikes. And there's two of them I want to talk about right now that I've done in the last 2 weeks up at Rocky Mountain. And the first one is Sprague Lake. Sprague Lake is one of the easier hikes. It's not really a hike, more of a nature walk. It's about 3/4 of a mile around. While the path is not paved, it is as close to paved as you can get without being paved. It's very flat. It's very hard packed, so it's pretty easy for anybody who has any ambulatory issues. And there's a beautiful lake there. And as you get around to the backside of the lake, it gives you this beautiful view across the lake to the mountains that are kind of on the horizon. And it's wonderful. Plus, it's a place where a lot of the moose like to hang out in the mornings around sunrise. They like to hang out at Sprague Lake. So give that a check if you are kind of on one of the lower levels. You're maybe you have one of those off-road kind of strollers, with the bigger tires. I don't think you'll need too big of tires, but because the trail is in such good shape. But it is something that pretty much every skill level should be able to do. At least some, if not all, of the Sprague Lake Trail. Excuse me. The next hike is one that I did just this last week, and it's called Cub Lake. And Cub Lake is, I'd say, probably on the moderate level, but it starts in the Moraine Valley, so it starts lower in elevation. So that automatically makes it a little bit easier. And it ends up being about a 6 to 6.5 mile loop if you want to do that, or you can do it as about a 4 mile out and back. And there's only 600 feet of elevation gain, and the trail is relatively rocky, so it's for a little bit more advanced people, but it's something that I think more people, especially coming from lower elevations, will be able to enjoy when they get out there, because it's not overly difficult. It's not a ton of climbing, or elevation gain climbing. There's no climbing, no scrambling at all on the trail. You can take it one of two ways. You can do it as an out and back and go from the Cub Lake Trail all the way up to Cub Lake and then come back down. Or you can do it as a loop trail and go to Cub Lake, continue on to what's called the pools, which is where the Big Thompson River comes down and kind of makes a big turn, and it makes all the water swirl right there and kind of creates a rapid system. And there's a bridge that goes across that right there. And then you can take a very flat Fern Lake trail back to the parking lot from there. So it's a little bit on the easier side, something that I think more people will have an easier time with. It is a little bit long. There is that 600 feet of elevation gain, but it's something that I think people will be able to enjoy without really overburdening themselves up at Rocky Mountain National Park. So if you're coming to visit the park, check out those two lakes, especially if you're not used to the outdoors. They might be good warm-up hikes for you as well, just to make sure you're good with the elevation gains and things like that in the park. So those are my hikes of the week. I kind of did two this week. You get a bonus, but hopefully you enjoyed that. Also, check out 13hikes.com and see if that's a challenge in a community that you want to join. And everybody is welcome on there, so I'd appreciate anybody who checked it out. That is all the time that I have for the podcast this week. I've got, again, a couple good ones lined up for you coming up as well. So if you like this one, make sure you like and share it and let people know. You can also find my podcast on my website, fatmanlittletrail.com, so you can go back and listen to older versions of the podcast. That is all the time that I have, though, for you right now. I hope to see you all on a trail again really soon. Until then, happy hiking.